Mm-hmm. When's the last time you overtrained something?
My ankle, honestly,
Yeah?
just doing too much on my ankle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why you think it's worse than it's ever been this time?
Maybe, but I understand my limits now, but when I thought it was feeling better, I went to try to do a dunk session, and max jumps are really what hurt my ankle.
Okay.
Which is, I can sprint.
Right.
I can sprint as fast. You see me play basketball. Like, I play basketball, I hoop, but if I go to do a max jump, that is what hurts my ankle. So I really need to just load slowly, and I just need to load slowly and take it step by step, which is why I am now doing this series on YouTube called Things Are Changing. The first episode, by this time when they hear this podcast, there might be 3 or 4 episodes out, but I am taking people through the process of me fixing my ankle and getting my vertical jump back and dropping body fat and going back to a 43-inch vertical jump like I had when I was 23 years old. Because I don't even know what my vert is right now.
Yeah.
Can't even do a max jump to test it because it hurts my ankle.
Right. So I overtrained my bicep once. You want to hear the story real quick?
Yeah.
I was back in high school.
This may be different, but good. Let me see.
So I, thought I could do more weight, and I would crushed my arms, like first, some high schooler trying to get a good arm day in, go into the Carrick weight room. That was back when they first opened the weight room.
Good old Carrick weight room.
Yeah, because that is somewhat new. That hasn't always been there. So when that was like somewhat new, I started doing my thing in there, and the first time I think I was ever in there, I just literally did like this over the top arm workout. Had no business doing it, trying to look all, like stronger than I was. The next day, I couldn't even, my arm was so tight. If you're watching this somewhere, my arm could not like move past like this.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's not an overuse.
It isn't?
So
it was like this muscle right here. You know what I'm talking about?
I get it. So your muscles were so sore the next day that you literally you could not lengthen. You could not lengthen your bicep all the way to straighten your arm.
Yes.
I've done the same thing with my calves.
Okay.
Which I'll just tell a story.
It has
real quick.
to be miserable.
But
Was it miserable?
It was miserable.
With your calves?
Yes. And it makes it more miserable because I was lifeguarding and I went to work the next day. So let me tell you this story. We get so off topic.
Wait, I think I remember this.
We get so off topic on these podcasts, but this is just what it is.
It is.
So,
it is. And I think people like to hear like the little stories. And if you don't, you can fast forward.
Right. But we're going to give you information, education. We're going to give you the facts and the science, but then we're also going to mix in our personality in these stories.
Yeah.
So this was back when I was bodybuilding and I did physique. I was a physique competitor, so I didn't have the little Speedo on. I had board shorts. So imagine me in swim trunks, not this little Speedo. So because
why do you want them to imagine that? Why can't they just imagine you in the Speedo?
Because that's not what I did.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
That's not I did not do actual bodybuilding. I did men's physique.
Okay.
So they're two different classes.
Okay, gotcha.
Of bodybuilding.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Right. So in men's physique, because you have swim trunks on, you're not judged by your quads. You are judged by your upper body, and then some competitions judge you for your calves. Well, I skipped my calves working out for a long time. You know how they say, he skips leg day. I skipped working out my calves for a long, long time. So one day I looked in the mirror, and I'm like, my calves are small. I'm going to beat the crap out of my calves in this next workout. So I did weighted calf raises, I did seated calf raises, I did calf raises up the stairs, I did barbell calf raises, machine calf raises. I did so many calf raises, and the next day I woke up and I couldn't bend my legs. I could not bend my legs, just like you couldn't bend your bicep. And what made it worse
I couldn't straighten it.
Right, that's what I meant.
Okay.
I couldn't straighten my legs.
Oh, you could not straighten your
I
legs.
could not straighten my legs, just like you couldn't straighten your bicep. Same thing. Or straighten your arm.
Right.
And so after a while, I like loosened them up to the point where I could walk. But then I went to work and I was sitting in the lifeguard chair, and we sit in the chair for 15 minutes at a time. And after the 15 minutes that I sat in the chair, I couldn't straighten my legs after that. They got tight again. So I go to get down from the chair and I can't straighten my legs. And Chuck was actually the head guard there. He's like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm gonna be honest, I can't straighten my legs. He's like, what the hell are you talking about? What do you mean you can't straighten your legs? I'm like, Chuck, because I'm like walking in like a crouched position to the next chair. He's like, dude, what in the world are you doing? And I'm like, I'm sorry. I know this looks very weird, but I can't straighten my legs. And essentially he was like, well, if you can't straighten your legs, how are you going to save somebody?
Right.
You got to go home.
Yeah.
If somebody drowns and you can't use your legs,
You're going to drown.
right. You're both going to be drowning.
And then
It was just a bad situation.
lifeguard got to get saved. The guy that the lifeguard jumped in after got to get saved.
So anyways, I got sent home.
Yeah.
from my lifeguarding job.
Wow.
And I was like 21 at that point. But yeah, that is so
Wow.
but the moral of that story is it's a little different than overuse. Overuse normally happens on your tendons, but it can happen with the muscles. But what we did was we worked out our muscles so hard that when they shortened, they were so tight that we had trouble lengthening them because we worked them out that hard.
Gotcha.
So similar situations.
Okay.
However,